Hey everyone, thank you so much for clicking this video today. So what I would like to share with you guys is just the whole meaning of why a lot of the Glock replicas that are out there are only partially trademarked, no trademark, or fully trademarked. So there's a lot of issues with why a lot of these are just the way they are, like the WeTech with just the G and then the tactical instead of Austria on the slide, and then KJW being a blank slate, and then some other ones that are partial, but somewhat there in terms of, being recognized as a Glock replica. And then you have also some that are fully trademarked, and I'll kind of talk a little bit more about those as we progress through the video. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into this. Okay, so as you guys can see in front of me, I have my whole collection of my Glock replica pistols. You can kind of tell just by seeing right away with my white lettering. You can kind of see the trademark stand out. The different manufacturers that I have in my collection is going to range from KJW, WeTech, and Stark Arms. So I kind of wanted to share with you guys a little bit more on these manufacturers and how they produce their replicas of the Glock pistol. So as we can see, for most of my collection, it is going to be WeTech. So if you're familiar with WeTech, you can see that like the G logo here is pretty much all they would stamp on to symbolize the Glock, because this is the exact G of the actual Glock logo. They just don't put in the letters O-C-K or L-O-C-K, I'm sorry, to finish off the trademark fully like it should be. So I'm not 100% sure with why WeTech doesn't really just stamp the whole thing on there, because they're already mimicking the real steel version of it almost to a T. But they're just slacking a little bit on the trademarks with some of their models. There is some unique ones for WeTech that I kind of noticed, which again I'm going to cover as we go through with this. But you guys can see, I'll pick one of them up. My G35, for example, which I have actually a review of this if you guys are interested. It's in my Glock playlist. But you can see that they put the G and the 35, which will symbolize pretty much what type of Glock it is, and then the word tactical, which in the real steel model would say Austria on here. So that's been replaced with tactical, and then of course the caliber size of the Glock. So I do like the fact that they changed the caliber size. They don't just stick every single one of them with the 9x19 or 9mm or whatever. And then of course on the bottom of the lower frame as well, they don't really have anything fully trademarked except just made in Taiwan and stamped with their logo. Same thing goes for the barrel and outer barrel, or the slide and outer barrel I should say. They really don't authenticate those as much, which is unfortunate. I think that I have seen before WeTech pistols that come from the manufacturer with everything trademarked. But I feel like those are mainly for, if you're living overseas in like China or Taiwan, for example, where these are more readily available with full trades. But, that's something I would kind of wish WeTech would kind of step up to the plate and actually just fully replicate it at that point, because, again, you got the cosmetic aspect of it completed, but you just, missing the full trades. But again, some WeTech models don't even come with anything. Like, for example, I noticed with my newly purchased double barrel G18C, you can see that the whole slide is blank. The only thing they really have trademarks on, or some kind of trademark stamped on their product, is the WeTech logo on the lower frame, and then the usual outer barrel stampings. Same applies for this side as well. You can see, and then lower frame. They have everything there. So this one, they kind of, I don't know what really happened. I know this is a new lineup of their product with these double barrels, so they probably don't really have any plans with adding anything, because I would imagine they'll have to add it on this slide and on this slide. So they'd have to do, double machining to engrave that logo in there. So maybe it was a cost thing at that point, that they just decided to scrap that idea and not include it to begin with. Now, we'll get into my 18C, which is just a single barrel version. So, you know, I kind of just did it myself with like a screwdriver for this one. You know, again, this one came as just a regular G, and then I just took like, I forgot, a knife or some kind of a blade and just carved in that L-O-C-K in there. It's very crude, I have to say. I mean, this was done like years ago, so it's not perfect. But, you know, if you kind of look at it from far away, you know, you can almost tell that it's like somewhat realistic. So, you know, for me, that was enough to make me happy. And then again, tactical 9x19 for that one. Now, here is a different manufacturer that created the Glock replica. This one is by KJW. So if you guys are somewhat familiar with KJW, their brands typically have 0 trademarks of any kind. Typically just a sticker or some kind of stamp that says made in Taiwan. It's pretty common with KJW. So the same goes for their Glock replica. There is no, this is a G17 Tan Edition. Looks like 3rd gen based off the lower frame stippling, and yeah, just looks like a 3rd gen to me. So again, no Glock, no G, no Austria or tactical, no 9x19. Lower frame, it just has KJ stamped on the bottom, and then the other side again, made in Taiwan and gas blowback system, which a couple of WeTechs have that, which I'll cover as well. But again, nothing there, no markings on the outer barrel either. So this is kind of like your plain old, you know, Glock with nothing on it, which I'm not gonna lie, some players prefer that. So if you're in the market with no trademarks of any kind, KJW is the brand to go, because they do have green gas and CO2 models that you can get in tan, black, or whatever color you want. They'll have that option. Next one up is the chrome polished G17 by WeTech. Again, this one, as you can see, same thing as the last, or the beginning 2 guns they had. Just a G, the number of the model, and then tactical 9x19. This one is a Gen 4, however, because it's a bigger mag release button, and the stippling is a different design. But again, it has Gen 4 on the lower frame, and you pretty much WeTech's own trademarks. Now the next one, this one has an interesting background story to it. So this originally I bought as a WeTech G17. This was actually a Tan Edition. I changed everything on it. I ended up changing every single piece on this to convert it to a fully trademarked Glock as much as I possibly could. You guys can see that the lettering is a lot smaller, which is, so here's kind of like an example again. So you can see the G, and then you can see the G that came with the Glock, like the one on the top here. So the G size is the same. You can see that that L kind of blends with the G, with the top one there. On the bottom one, they kind of just cut it off at the G, and that's it. But this one, I used all Tokyo Marui parts, because that's really the only thing that's readily available for these as a replacement slide. And again, it took so much work to get this thing to work properly, so it's not really a route that I'd recommend for people just trying to do it for fun. It takes time, and it's frustrating in certain moments. So just a heads up. But anyway, so this one, you know, it's going to be fully trademarked everything Glock. You got the model 17, Austria, like it's supposed to say, and then 9x19, which is pretty typical. Excuse me. The lower frame, you can see it should say Glock on there, so that's done correctly. This is Gen 3 lower frame. Again, with the lower frame made in Austria, Glock, and then on the bottom it says their US patent number. So they tried to replicate this to a T, which was the whole reason I bought it, because I was trying to go for that. And then again, with some kind of stampings on here. I think some of you told me that stamping here is something to do with like the ammunition fired, like ammunition testing. Could be wrong, but something like that. And then on this one, as you can see, it's kind of shiny, but 9x19, and then same serial number as on the slide. So again, this one was a project. I'm somewhat content with the finishing, you know, portion of it all, but this is, you know, all custom. You know, if you're really wanting to get a full trademark Glock, sometimes it will involve some custom work if you're not able to find anything else that's fully trade. So the last two I'll kind of talk about, so they're pretty much the same, the G19 and G23. So again, with the G23, you can see I like ghetto chipped in the LOCK again. You know, this one's just for the heck of it, you know, from far away it looks fine, but I just did it for my own just happiness, I guess. But the one behind it here, so the 19, one unique thing is it doesn't have any G of any kind. These are both WeTech, also to keep in mind. So I thought this was very interesting. They have, of course, the model number 19, which is correct, and then they have Austria. So this kind of was interesting to me because WeTech typically uses just tactical on all of their models that I've seen. And it was kind of unique seeing that. You know, it's not something pretty common with these. I have not seen any other ones that have, you know, no G and then Austria on there. It's kind of unique in its own way. The other side really has nothing special to it, you know, so it's pretty much the typical WeTech marking. Same goes for the Glock 23. You know, there's nothing really too special with the trademarks there. But now we'll get into another manufacturer that a lot of you guys have been kind of questioning me about, and this is going to be for the Stark Arms brand. So with Stark Arms, the best thing is you'll get a fully trademarked Glock right out of the box. So as you guys see here and in my previous videos of this, when I unboxed it, it comes out looking just like that. So full trademark Glock, 42 for the model number, and then this one says USA, so that was interesting. I think this is a USA caliber Glock. I could be wrong, I'm not sure on that. But and then of course the .380 auto. And if we, okay, so on the lower frame as well, you also have Glock on there. And then this magazine, it's a spare extended magazine, also has Glock trademarked on there as well. And then if we flip it over, let's see, so same thing on the lower frame, made in USA, Glock Inc. And then you have the Georgia stamped label on there, and then the serial number on the slide and outer barrel. So, you know, very cool. Definitely Stark Arms is going to be the brand to go to if you're looking for a full trademark Glock. But here's the thing. I get a lot of questions saying they're out of stock. Where do I find them? There has been like a shortage from a lot of websites that I've visited. I don't understand the issue with why it's, you know, back ordered for so long, but again, it's probably takes a lot of time. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention there's also Glock stamped on the outer barrel on the top there. But I literally have no idea why these things are so hard to come by right now. Like, they're probably just having a back order issue or something with this company, but literally when I bought this, it was probably the last one in stock, because a lot of you guys are telling me after I posted my unboxing of this is that it's already out of stock. So I thought that was interesting. And I mean, if I get wind of anything with, you know, these becoming available, I can definitely let you guys know. Here's just a quick comparison of my custom Glock and the Stark Arms above it. So it's very neat. It's very, you know, it's perfectly precise to the real thing. So it's definitely really cool, and that's kind of one of the reasons why the Stark Arms is attracting a lot of people, you know, wanting to buy it. So it's a very interesting one. And then the last one is my G26. This is the baby Glock. So again, nothing different from trades, except I just need to touch up that white a little bit. It's starting to flake off on me. But looks like just the G26 tactical 9x19. This one again, nothing unique to it either with the lower frame. And the other side, same thing. Just gonna tell you made in Taiwan and so on and so forth. This one really has no further explanation needed, as it is just the typical Wee Glock and Wee trademarks. But there is a few other brands that I'd also like to mention that I don't have. I know with Tokyo Marui, that's one that has fully trademarked Glocks, but you know, the thing with them is it's going to be all plastic, and a lot of people tend to steer away from that because of the word plastic. So, and the price range is ridiculous on it. And also a Chinese company called Bell is another one that has fully trademarked Glocks, but they're a little bit on the cheaper side. I'm thinking of just buying one to share with you guys the quality, because a lot of you guys have been asking me about that one. That one, on the other hand, though, is awesome because it comes fully trademarked as well. So, you know, I would compare Stark Arms and Bell probably closer to each other, because the quality I feel like is the same. Because with Stark Arms, it feels like a little, I don't want to say cheap-ish, but you know, the quality is a little kind of notchy. I don't know. It's really, I don't know, the material feels kind of thin, but again, the one I have is a Glock 42, so it's very small, so I kind of think that's why. But you know, anyway, I think with Bell, I think they're also, you know, somewhat of a good company, but I don't know. I have never bought anything from them. It's only a matter of time until I buy something from them and then test it out for you guys to let you know. But in the end, I'm gonna just close this video out with, you know, with this quick chat about Glock trademarks and everything. If you guys have any other questions, you know, regarding these Glock replicas, or just more questions you feel like I haven't really mentioned or answered for you in this video, definitely let me know in the comments. You could leave me a message as well through my social medias. I'm typically on Instagram and Facebook more than anything, so definitely can reach me there. And then if anything else, if you think that this information was great for you, you know, definitely like the video, share it if you can. If you are interested in more Glock videos, I have a huge Glock playlist just dedicated to anything Glock related. So it's something you'll like if this is kind of your thing. But other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.